What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including why WWE removed the Hell in a Cell Universal Championship match from the pay-per-view, WWE worried that a release star will sign with AEW, Tony Khan talks competing with the WWE, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. I said the intro and get straight into the first story. Now, first story looks at why the Reigns match was removed from Hell in a Cell to SmackDown. Now, top story concerns this Sunday's Hell in a Cell show, and there's big news concerning the Hell in a Cell match for the Universal Championship between Roman Reigns and challenger Rey Mysterio, as the WWE has moved the bout from the pay-per-view to tonight's SmackDown. The WWE set things up by having Rey tweeting the following challenge: "It's eating me up inside. I can't wait any longer. I want the Hell in a Cell match tomorrow night." Reigns promptly responded, "Sunday, Friday, any day. Makes no difference to me. It'll be my pleasure to disgrace what's left of your family name tomorrow night inside Hell in a Cell. My special counsel, Paul Heyman, will handle the paperwork. I'll personally handle the warfare." The move is shocking considering it's likely it would have been the main event. So what's the reason behind the move? Well, Meltzer reports there's no apparent reason for the change. As far as what happened, there's no involved reason that made any sense. The word we were told is that you can't describe why. There were just a bunch of discussions on Thursday, and discussions ended up with "let's do it on SmackDown." As a press time, the plans were for Reigns to not be wrestling on the pay-per-view. This match seems more about putting Reigns in with a great worker and allowing him to play bully heel, give Rey some hot spots and near falls, but in the end, I don't think anyone ever expects Reigns to lose. Now, we find it hard to believe that the WWE moved a main event match from the pay-per-view on a whim, especially as the move, at least on paper, weakens the show, something the Peacock streaming service wouldn't be too happy about. Speaking of unhappy, the McMahon podcast Andrew Zarian is reporting that the USA Network is none too pleased with the decision to pull the big Hell in a Cell match on SmackDown, which airs on rival Fox. Zarian noted, "I can tell you for a fact that USA Network is very unhappy that the Hell in a Cell match is happening on SmackDown. I'm not going to say they are fuming, but they are very unhappy about it." It's easy to understand why the USA Network would be upset with the WWE putting a pay-per-view main event on the Blue brand when Raw struggles in the ratings. As many wrestling observers have pointed out, Raw no longer seems to be the WWE's flagship show, and this has got to irk USA executives who have aired Raw since its start in 1993. Considering the money that USA pays the WWE to air Raw, who wouldn't be upset that the WWE isn't making the same effort to help out its longtime partner? While there have been talks of more themed shows on Raw, such as the return of Raw Roulette, it's all about the here and now, not what's planned for the future. While some pundits are arguing that the switch was made to boost ratings, that may not be the case. It's also likely that the match is being moved to set up an angle at Hell in a Cell, possibly a tag match between Mysterios and Usos, or even to have Dominic challenge Reigns and join his dad in the local medical facility. There could also be an injured or personal issue that prevents the match from taking place on Sunday. Regardless, it's difficult to believe the WWE is moving the match from pay-per-view to television. The WWE is making a big mistake if it's moving the match from pay-per-view to SmackDown merely to boost the Blue brand's ratings. Not only is this a slap in the face to USA Network, but to the Peacock streaming service. When you remember that NBC Universal owns both USA and Peacock, you have to ask yourself why the WWE is potentially disrespecting a major business partner. At this stage, it's too early to tell what will happen Sunday, but if Roman does not wrestle at the pay-per-view, then Vince McMahon better have one of his lame excuses ready for NBC Universal executives. What do you guys think of the move? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, Tony Khan talks competing with WWE. Does AEW president Tony Khan think that AEW is competing with the WWE? Well, that seems to be the case based on comments he made during an interview on WFAN's Moose and Maggie show. Khan commented that it's intense, it's a competition, there's no way around it, it's a true competition. I'm really excited about being a challenger brand and taking on a huge company, and I think for a long time fans were demanding an alternative, and AEW on TNT has given them that. Normally we do our show on Wednesday nights. I'm doing a special Friday Night Dynamite this week, and then in a couple of weeks we return to our Wednesday time slot and we'll be on Wednesdays from here on out. AEW has been making some major moves, including signing released WWE wrestlers and WWE legends no longer under contract. AEW's pay-per-views have been drawing well, which is encouraging considering they cost $50 in the US, a high sum for people used to paying $9.95 for the WWE Network. With the announcement of its new cable show Rampage, AEW appears to be getting more television time to showcase its ever-growing roster. However, the company has had its struggles, including frequent preemptions on TNT due to the NBA playoffs, and the fact that the company has not earned a profit this year due to heavy investments into its video game department. Next up, WWE worried that Aleister Black is heading to AEW. Speaking of AEW, there are reports coming in that WWE officials are working to get recently released wrestler Aleister Black back into the company due to concerns that the Dutch Destroyer will sign with the rival. PW Insider's Mike Johnson recently reported there continues to be a lot of talk internally, all the way up to WWE executives, that the release of Aleister Black was a premature decision. There's been talk in recent weeks about AEW interest in him, which has sparked some additional discussions inside WWE. Whether they pull the trigger on this, similar to Triple H doing so with Samoa Joe, or not, remains to be seen, but there continues to be a second guessing about cutting him after spending time on rebooting his character. Aleister Black is a unique individual whose recent interviews suggest he had some creative ideas for his character. While he couldn't portray his Aleister Black character, there's plenty of room to create a new character for himself to get over. It's difficult to imagine Black wanting to return to the WWE considering how poorly he was booked, and that Vince himself reportedly apologized to Black for said shoddy storylines. If AEW is interested, one would think Black could have a chance to break out on his own. However, there are no guarantees in wrestling, and as AEW's roster continues to grow, Aleister could find himself lost in the shuffle. A related question has been how much the WWE is willing to pay Black to return, and whether AEW would make it worth his while to sign with the company. Next up, did WWE trademark name for Piper Niven? Piper Niven debuted last Monday on Raw, competing in Eva Marie's place, but the announcers did mention her by her NXT UK name, leading to speculation what the WWE is going to call her. Earlier this week, Fightful Select reported that WWE was considering going with the name Doudrop, and a recent trademark application has fans believing that's what's next, as the WWE filed a trademark on Doudrop on Monday. While Doudrop has not been confirmed as Niven's name, that seems to be the direction in many fans' opinion. And finally, a WWE Superstar Over Big with Mr. McMahon. And last but not least, fans have been seeing a lot of Nia Jax's storyline boyfriend Reginald as of late, and apparently there's good reason for it. A recent report from Fightful Select claims that Mr. McMahon is big on the Reginald character as well as his work in the ring and his willingness to do whatever storylines are presented to him. Wrestling News' Andrew Ravens noted that he was signed to the WWE after working in Cirque du Soleil. While Reginald is in Mr. McMahon's good graces right now, he'd best be cautious given McMahon's mercurial mind, as he could easily become the latest new toy to be thrown aside in favor of someone else. But there you have it guys, the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.